Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie, I actually had to look this particular item up, but we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get, boom, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster over here. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? Happens to be, I like wearing super cool shirts. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my, boom, my Mega Ran shirt. One of a few that I have, but this one's definitely my favorite. I just love the graphic. If you're unfamiliar with Mega Ran, obviously you don't watch my show because I've been touting his stuff. Or to be fair, maybe just get my intros. Fair enough. But yeah, no, I've been touting his stuff for over a decade now. Mega Ran, he's a guy who goes by, his actual name is Raheem Jarbo. And then when he kind of got into doing like rap and hip hop and stuff, he took up the name Random as his stage name. And then eventually, when he started working in the nerdcore subgenre, which is a subgenre of rap and hip hop, and honestly, even like pretty much any type of music could take the moniker, as long as you add in nerdy elements to it. So in the case, obviously Mega Man is probably the most prominent, but he's done plenty of stuff like pro wrestling and, even, sports and basketball. He did a thing about Jeremy Lin back in the day. But yeah, I really love his stuff. I've actually seen him perform live a number of times. I actually have videos of some of those performances on my channel, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as his music goes, because I think the guy's incredible. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why did I have to look it up? Because, folks, I'm reviewing, happens to be, it's boom! It is from, where's the thing? It is from Cielo Fresh Foods. That's what I'm going with. This is their seven mares. I'm not sure how to do it. Instant ramen noodle soup. And I had no idea what the hell seven mares soup was, so I looked it up. It is a soup that's out of Mexico. I guess it's popular around like sort of port cities and the coastal area and stuff. Its name, and I apologize for mispronunciation, is caldo de siete mares. And it basically translates to seven seas soup. It's a seafood soup. And the fine folks at Cielo Foods decided to go over there and make an instant version of it. Okie doke. I have reviewed a couple of other items from this company. I did their menudo and their pozole a while back. Those reviews and this review are going to end up on my ramen reviews playlist, which is a playlist for just like instant food reviews. So, I have to say the instructions were a little bit weird on this one just because they're like, oh, you should do the boiling water thing. But I tried out with like the pozole or whatever it was, like the microwavable version is just fucking fine, honestly, and that's just easier. So I did put it in the microwave, but didn't actually come with like the best instructions because it's like, oh, put it to the fill line. There's no fill line on the inside. I could only assume it meant this, so that's what I went with. But anyway, let's give it a go. And this isn't the first thing that I've run into. It also had a lot of packets. It was like, I think like 4 or 5, so definitely at least 4. But let's give it a go. Let's also get a thing for the thing here. The lighting's terrible, I apologize. Apologize for the terrible lighting in my back room. It looks like this will kind of ha 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 ha. I need to get a better light. Also, I think I need to replace one of the ones up top, but it's fine. I mean, nothing super exceptional, but it's okay. The noodles are a little bit thinner than the noodles that you would typically get with like an instant ramen, like your cup noodles, Maruchan, what have you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing or anything. It's just something to note. Um, But they eat nice, nothing against them. It's definitely very fragrant. Like all the stuff inside of it has definitely, done something. It's imparted that fragrance, that flavor. And you can even see like whatever, because I couldn't tell you what the packets were, but you can actually see when you look at it, the broth itself has like a little bit of like a glossiness. So there's like probably some added oil, maybe to add in a little acidity, or maybe that's some of the seafood flavoring. Um, I will say I'm not getting a strong seafood flavor. It's more of just kind of a general savory ramen flavor with maybe like a tiny bit of a seafood bite. I'm gonna try some of the broth by itself though. I want to taste that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting really a seafood vibe from it. It's it's nice. Like it has like a decent amount of depth to the flavor on it, so I'll give it credit there. And like I said, it just had kind of a general overall savoriness. Like, and then yeah, maybe like a hint of like a seafood. Now, I've never actually had the real version of this soup, which is a little bit surprising to me because like I love Mexican food and I've had a shit ton of Mexican food and I also love soup. So, um, but this one was a new one for me, and I would actually really like to try out the real deal now. This is perfectly fine though. Like I would go as far like it's a good instant ramen. It's just not quite what I was expecting. I mean, obviously, you're not gonna get the same flavor that you would from a real soup that's obviously been made and loved and cared for, and incorporating all those things. But again, I really do have to admit, like I was expecting a much stronger seafood flavor, especially with all the different packets and stuff. Um, but it's still good. Like I like the depth of flavor. It has a little heat to it, but just a tiny bit. Like it just kind of coats the back of your throat a little bit, gives a little warmth, but it's not like spicy. It's pretty good overall. But two questions I have to be asked: would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Um, maybe and kinda. Like I can't give this one a huge recommendation. I like it overall, but not for the reasons I was sort of hoping to like it. I was, like I said, I was hoping for a much stronger seafood flavor. Um, Instead, it's a nice, deep, savory broth with some decent noodles in it. Like, I wouldn't. It tastes good, but I wouldn't say it has a lot of character or personality that really make it stand out. Which again, like basing off what I was hoping it was going to taste like, you know. So that's why for me it's like it's not bad. In fact, like I said, I would say it's good. I like the flavor on it and everything. I like the depth. It has a little bit of complexity. It's not just one note. But I don't know, man. Like I do feel like there's just other instant noodles that are seafood flavor that I think do a little bit better job than this one did. But again, maybe like I haven't had the actual dish itself. Maybe it's not that seafood flavored. Maybe it's more about the other flavors. So I'd be willing to give this one a go on occasion, but like it wouldn't be a go-to for me. And if I'm recommending it, kinda, because it really does come down to like what are you expecting versus what the reality is. Because I think for me, it's like again, not having that experience with the soup itself. Like maybe I'm completely off base with it. Maybe somebody who's more familiar with it would be like, no, it's actually pretty familiar to what it's supposed to be. But I don't think so. And I kind of feel like it would be even more frustrating for somebody who is familiar with the actual version of the soup, because I imagine that tastes like 10,000 times better. But it's not a bad ramen. That's the thing. If I'm holding it to the standards of just being a tasty ramen, it works. But I do think that there's other ones out there that do the job better, that are maybe a little bit less hassle than, having 4 packets and then it kind of being an okay ramen. So it's like a solid C plus. But 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there yourselves a truly 7 Mares-tastic rest of your life, but like the actual thing. Like I said, I know that I've got some Mexican seafood places around me. I need to make that happen. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do, can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, have you ever had the actual 7 Mares or whatever soup? And if so, let me know. Like, is it like really seafood flavor? Is it not? Is it something you love, something you hate? Because like I said, it's something I just have nothing to work with. I have no frame of reference for it. But anyway,